television. Heck, you want to go old school? Smoke signals? Push. They're pushing a message from the clouds. We're pushing messages from the clouds now too on the internet. You know, radio and billboards and direct mail and email services and everything that you've ever seen in marketing has been pushed. Every business has been in the business of talking. And for the first time, because of the maturity of the internet, we are all in the business of listening. And let me tell you something right now. As you know, because you've got friends that call you with every problem, every time they break up with their boyfriend, or every time their kid gets out of control, you've got friends that know how to talk. And then you have one or two really special friends who know how to listen. And I guarantee if somebody said, you're on a boat with 3 friends and you got to throw one off because it's leaking, you're throwing the talker off the boat.
It's so funny, but so true. It's hysterical.
We are living through the biggest culture shift in our society ever, period, and every person in this room is underestimating the internet. The internet, the one that we all know, the consumer internet, is only 17 years old. At most, it's been 17 years since AOL sent actual CDs and spammed our actual mailboxes. Remember those things? 10 free minutes. By the time they were done, it was like 4 billion free minutes. How many people here do not remember the world before the internet? Raise your hand. Do not. 1. How old are you?
I'm 17.
Fair. I've been going to some of these, I've been using this one, and like sometimes people are like, I'm 29. I'm like, remember when you were 12? What's wrong with you? And what was your hand, little man? There's no way you remember the world before the internet.
That's awesome.
So, you know, it's new. It's new. And what's happening is it's maturing. How many people here use Facebook or Twitter to market their business or service? Raise your hand. I firmly believe that the majority of you are doing it wrong. And I'm not being mean, I'm trying to hurt feelings. I just think it's a real adjustment period to understand how to do it. Nobody follows your Facebook fan page so you can push another video of what you're selling or telling them another thing. You know, everybody's pushing. I watch every Twitter feed. I consume. I was laying in my bed in the hotel right now watching and looking and consuming, and I actually don't do a lot of consuming. I'm always in reaction mode. I create content and push. During times like this, I'm annoying. Come to my book signing, buy my book, do my thing, my new app. I'm pushing. But 90% of the time, I'm engaging and responding. And all I'm really doing is searching my name. And by doing so much engaging, it lets me get away with the amount of pushing I've been doing for the last 60 days. It is stunning to me how many people have not unfollowed me. My unfollow count over the last 90 days has been shockingly low in comparison to Crush It just 2.5 years ago, because over those last 2 years, I've built up even more equity. You know, since I've stopped pushing Crush It, all I've been doing is responding and interacting and giving. Here I am again, pushing again, because I want my book to sell, and I want people to download my app. And I'm surprised and happy, and it's, you know, building on my thesis that people are not getting annoyed with me. Maybe they'll mute me for a little bit. Maybe they won't pay attention as much. But shortly I'll be done, and I'll be back to mode. And I think that is the balance. I don't want this to all be Mother Teresa. I'm not here to talk about rock climbing and drinking tea, and we're all going to be zen, kumbaya, love, love, love. I'm not that nice. I'm here for business. I'm here to talk to you about how I think business is going to be done. My first business was ripping up flowers from people's yards, ringing their doorbells, popping the dimples at them, and selling it back to them. So I come from a place where I'm a salesperson. This is not, you know, this is not practical. I've been sitting on this thesis of this book for about 4 years, but I didn't push it out because I thought it was early. You know, I've learned through the years that I see things early, but they need to be practical, otherwise they're not worth it. Otherwise you're putting in a lot of time and not seeing the ROI. I really, really, really believe in this stuff. How many people here, and you know, you came out on a Saturday afternoon, so you could be doing a lot of things and you're here. So I'd really, really, really hope that you actually raise your hands. Don't nod your head. I don't want to see your head. I want you to raise your hands and don't half-ass me. Don't give me this. I need this. How many people here, probably to themselves, maybe to somebody else, in the last 3 or 4 years, said the following statement: don't lie, lying is bad? Hold on. I didn't say anything. Thank you for raising your hands. How many of you said, I will never get a Facebook account, why would I ever need one? Raise your hand. Raise your hand, don't lie. How many people here, I'm gonna wait. That's it? Fair enough, okay. Just curious, of you people, how many of you have a Facebook account? Raise your hand.
Oh.
Let's go old school. This one hurts a little bit more. But some of you in this room said this, and I need you to pony up. How many people said 15 years ago that they would never get a cell phone? Why would they want anybody to contact them anytime they wanted to? Raise your hand, I'll wait. Thank you for your honesty. Just curious, who here does not have a cell phone? Really? I'm impressed. Can I touch you? An alien. No cell phone, huh? Epic.
Epic.
I am in the business and I'm fascinated by the things that people say they're not going to do and they're going to do. That is how I built my businesses and that's what I focus on. And there's a lot of things coming that look that way. And the most important part to me right now is that I think that the next 3 years are actually going to be a social media bubble, and it's not going to be very good for social media. I think you're going to be reading a lot of articles over the next 12, 24, and 36 months saying social media is a fad, or it doesn't have the proper ROI, or people are wasting their time on it. And I very much equate it to the 1999 to 2001 bubble of the internet itself. That when a lot of people thought it was a fad. I mean, there's people in here, you really don't want to raise your hand for this one, because this one hurts, that literally thought that the internet was a fad. And Wall Street collapsed, and a lot of people gave up. There was people in a room, let me paint you a picture. 8 90-year-old white guys in a boardroom saying, hey Dick, do you know this Netflix thing? No. John? No. Hey Peter, have you ever used Netflix? Nope. Anybody here even know what Netflix is? No. Does anybody know anybody using it? Sure don't. Fine. Let's not pay attention to it.
Oh.
Those 8 board members at Blockbuster made a mistake.
Yeah, it's true.
They made a mistake.
Yeah.
And Borders, when the internet collapsed and thought Amazon was so stupid to pay them to do their infrastructure and their dirty work, sat in a boardroom and laughed at the deal they made with Amazon, only to stop laughing 8 years later because now they are out of business. And so if these trends did not happen, if innovation did not disrupt business at the highest level, well then IBM would be dominating everything.
That's right.
And then Microsoft would have never let Google happen. And Google would have never let Apple happen. And Apple would have never let Facebook happen. And Facebook would have never let Twitter happen. And Twitter would have never let Tumblr happen. How many people here are on Tumblr? Nice number. The rest of you are soon to follow. And so it's going to be interesting, isn't it? I mean, look at all of us. How many people here have paid for an app on their phone? Raise your hand. That's coming off an era where we wouldn't pay for anything. Mm-hmm. We're coming off a 10-year window where the web was free. Why would we ever pay for anything? Are you okay? Your shoulder? You good? You should use your left hand next time. We just lived through an era where everybody was trained to not pay for anything, right? I mean, every website was free. I'm not paying for a subscription to the Wall Street Journal or Times, right? And then boom, the game changes a little bit, and now you guys are buying apps. Has anybody bought an app that costs more than $5? Raise your hand. This is real money. It's adding up. It's amazing. And some of you are playing games like Farmville. How many people have played a game here and have paid for a virtual item in the game to power up? Raise your hand.
Be honest.
You're playing a game, and then in the game, like if you were playing Smurf Village on your iPhone, you can buy Smurf berries, or in Farmville, you can buy corn. One more time, I just want everybody to see this. How many people have paid for a virtual item in the game? Raise your hand.
I haven't, but my 12-year-old kid.
Fair enough. So I know that's a yes. I'm going to tell you something right now. 5 people here, so let's call it 10%, maybe 5%. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to come back here in 2 years, and every hand in here is going to raise their hand. Or 50%. You will buy virtual goods. You know why? Because the fashion industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Let me explain. We're human beings. We have an inherent need to communicate. We communicate through our mouth, and we communicate through the things we do. One of the biggest ways we communicate is by wearing the clothes we wear. The sunglasses we rock, the way we rock a Padres hat to the side on an angle, the handbag we bring in, the sunglasses we put on the top of our head, and our little scarves around ourselves. We need to communicate. It is why fashion is a multi-billion-dollar industry. If it wasn't, you wouldn't pay anything for the stuff you're rocking right now. You just wouldn't. It would be it would be commodity, just like content is now. It would be a commodity, but it's not. because you want to